Hello everybody, and welcome to the video notes for Unit 2, Day 4. And today's video is dedicated to Ulissa in 6A. Hi Ulissa. And before we get started with the notes, first let's check our Part 1. And to make an equivalent fraction, all you have to do is multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So these were the numbers that I chose. You could have chose any numbers that you wanted as long as you multiplied the numerator and the denominator by the same number. All right. Today we are dividing fractions, so just like we did yesterday, but yesterday we did with common denominators. Today we're just going to do dividing fractions with different denominators, or unlike denominators, different denominators. Denominator. And let's read our first example. And as we read, I want you to underline the math clues and double underline what the problem's asking you to find. Let's take a look. Molly has 1 3/8 cups of strawberries. Okay, that looks like it might be a math clue to me. She needs 3/8 a cup of strawberries to make one batch of muffins. All right, so she needs 3/8 of a cup for every one batch that she makes. How many batches can Molly make? Okay, that's what it's asking us to find. So I'm going to double underline that. How many batches can Molly make? So the first thing is, we're going to write our division sentence so we can think about what it is we're trying to find. Well, we have a total of 1 3/8 strawberries. And then we're splitting that 1 3/8 into 3/8 cups. So 1 3/8 divided by 3/8, and we're trying to figure out what that equals. This means, and the reason why we're writing this means is so that we're also just thinking about like all these numbers and equations, like what do they mean? How many 3/8 are in 1 3/8? Right? That's what we're trying to find. And let's draw our diagram here. So we're starting with 1 3/8. Draw out 1. Right, there's 1 right here. And then we have 3/8, so we need another 1 after that. So this would be 2 wholes. Right, you could separate these if it's easier for you. I just like to keep them all together. And we know we're dividing it into sections that are 3/8. So we know we want 8s. So let's divide these into 8s now by drawing 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8 8s. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's another set of 8s. And among these 8s, we want 3/8. Oh, actually, no, sorry. First, let's shade in how much we have. So 1 whole, that's all of this here. Right, that's 1. And then 3/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. And then among this 1 3/8, let's see how many 3/8 we can make. 1, 2, 3. There's 3/8. 1, 2, 3. There's another 3/8. 1, 2, 3. There's another 3/8. And then 1, 2, 3. That would be 3/8. But we only have 2/8. So first I check, how many sections of 3/8 do I have? 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to have 3 sections of 3/8. And I have 1 2/8 out of the 3 that I would need for another batch. right? If each batch is 3/8, I have 2 out of the 3/8 that I would need. So I have 2 out of, and it's not out of 8, it's out of how many you would need. I would need 3, so it's 2 out of 3. 3 2/3. So 1 3/8 divided by 3/8 equals 3 2/3. And let's go back to our question. How many batches can Molly make? Well, she can make 3 2/3 batches. All right, 2 gold stars for everybody. Now, what I want you to do is, you guessed it, where it says now you try. Read the problem, underline the math clues, double underline what it's asking you to find, draw the diagram, and answer it. So let's pause. Do that right now. All right, now you are resuming the video after you've tried it on your own. Let's take a look. Donna is baking cookies and has 2 4/5 pounds of flour. That's a math clue. If each batch of cookies requires 4/5 pounds of flour, okay, each batch requires that much, how many batches can she make? We're trying to find how many batches can she make. Our division sentence, we are dividing 2 4/5 pounds of flour into batches that are each require 4/5 pounds. This means, right, how many 4/5 are in 2 4/5? Let's draw a diagram. We need 2 4/5. So here's one hole. Add another hole. And I mean 3 holes because it's 2 4/5 is in between 2 and 3. Okay, so here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. And we're dividing it into sections of 4/5, so we know that we need fifths. So let's separate these into fifths by drawing 4 lines in each hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's in fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in fifths. Then we shade in 2 holes. So all of this. And then 4 out of 5 of these for the 4/5. Okay, so that's our 2 4/5 right there. And sections of 4/5 is what we're dividing it into. So let's count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All this right here. It's 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another 4/5. And then here we only have 2/5. So first I check how many sections of 4/5 do I have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 3 holes, sections of 4/5. And then I'm left over with these 2/5. So I have 2 out of the 4/5 that I would need. So that means it's 3 and 2. And it's not out of 5. Instead, it's out of 4 because I needed, right, 4/5 for the batch. So I can only make 2 out of 4 of the batch. 3 and 2/4, that simplifies to 3 1/2. So 2/4 divided by 4/5 equals 3 1/2. And write my answer statement. She can make 3 1/2 batches. Sorry, my messing is a little bit messy here. I mean, my writing is a little bit messy. All right, if you got that on your own, 3 gold stars to you. And now, let's turn the page. You are now on page 3. Let's read the problem. Jalen has 11/8 cups of strawberries. Okay, he has 11/8 cups. He needs 3/4 of a cup of strawberries to make a batch of tarts. How many batches can he make? We're trying to figure out how many batches he can make. Our division sentence. Now before we write our division sentence, I want us to pause and notice that 11/8, what's our denominator? 8. Dividing it by 3/4, what's our denominator? 4ths. Okay, so before we start, we actually want to convert our fractions so that they have the same denominator. We want to convert our fractions so they have the same denominator. So this is 4ths here and this is 8ths here. One easy way to check is, can one number be multiplied by a number to get to the other denominator? In this case, yes, right? I can multiply 4 times 2 to get 8 here. So I'm going to change this 3/4 here so that I can get it to 8. So 4 times what number is going to give me 8? 4 times 2. So then multiply the top by the same number to keep it equal. And then 3 times 2 is 6. So now I'm changing 3/4 into 6/8 cups, which is the same thing, but it just has the same denominator. Now we can get going. Division sentence. We have 11/8 divided by 6/8. I'm trying to figure out what that equals. All right, this means how many 6/8 are in 11/8. Let's draw out our diagram. 11/8, so we're going to have one whole, which would be 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we need another whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's shade in 11 of these 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we want to see how many 6/8 we can make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 that we would need for another full section. So which means I have one full section of 6/8 here, and then 5 left over out of the 6 that I would need for the full batch. So I have 5 out of 6. So 11/8 divided by 6/8 equals 1 and 5/6. How many batches can he make? He can make 1 and 5/6 batches. There's our answer. All right. Sorry, I'm moving kind of quickly. We got a lot to get through. If you got that, everybody got that? Good. Last one. Now you try. Pause the video. First, actually, Aranza has 3 2/3 gallons of water. And here we have 5/6 gallons. So we have thirds here and sixths here. You're going to have to see what you can do to change one of these fractions so that they have the same denominator. Then you should be able to do it. Okay, try that. Alright, now you are continuing the video after, and only after, you have tried this problem on your own. Right, that's how you challenge yourself to learn, and you're not just copying what Mr. Yen is writing down. Aranza has 3 2/3 gallons, and she's pouring the water into containers that each hold 5/6 of a gallon. How many containers can she fill? Okay, how many containers can she fill? So I noticed that they're different denominators. Let's make them common denominators. 3 here, 6 here are my denominators. I check, can I multiply one of these numbers by a number to get to the other one? Yes. If I have 3 2/3, and 6 is here, I know I can multiply 3 by something to get to 6. So 3 times what is going to get me 6? 3 times 2, so then I multiply the top by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So now I'm changing 3 2/3 to, sorry, we're kind of running out of space here, 3 4/6. Our division sentence is 3 4/6 divided by, over here, 5/6. This means how many 5/6 are in 3 4/6? Let's draw it out. And actually, if you didn't get this common denominator and now you do, if you want to pause the video and try drawing this out on your own, I encourage you to do that. But now we're just going to move on. So 3 4/6, I need 1 hole here, 2 holes here, 3 holes here, and then another hole, because 3 is between 3 and 4. And so 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and 4 holes here. And then we want, since we're dividing by 5/6, we want 6s. So let's split these into sections of 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 3 4/6. Okay, 1 hole there. 2 holes here. 3 holes here. And then 4 out of these 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's count out sections of 5/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 5/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5/6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5/6. And then 1, 2 out of the 2/6 there, out of the 5/6 that we would need. Count the sections of 5/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 holes, and then I have 2/6 out of the 5 that I would need, so it's 4 2/5. So 3 4/6 divided by 5/6 equals 4 2/5, which means she can fill 4 2/5 containers with the water that she has. All right. That was a long video. Thank you for staying with me. Now, after you finish the video, I have given you 5 steps that I would like for you to complete before you leave class today. So read these directions carefully and follow each of these 5 steps, and then you should be all set.